of how to play my game ArtOfFacts, the card game that I made. And again, you do have to have the app Unsealer, UNSEALR, downloaded. It is available in the Apple App Store and on the Google Play Store. Okay, it's a free app. Anyways, so you go to the link, which will be provided into the link in the description. You click on this, or you can just go straight to the Unsealer app, but either way, you'll get to the same place. So as it loads here, I'll show you. And again, it does require an internet connection or a data roaming connection. Sometimes I ask you to do a review, you can just X out of that. So when you go to this, you can hit play the game, okay, game start. It always goes into this chat thing. This is if you want to play with real players, outside of your device. But if you're just playing either by yourself, or if you're playing with other people on one device in the same room as you, in other words, you hit the 3 dots in the upper right corner, okay? You always click check the contents of the game. Very important. You choose how many players you want. You can do up to 10 really, but I recommend up to 9 at the most. But in my instructions it says that, but you can do really whichever way you want. For, this we'll just do 2, okay? Then we press start, obviously. It's going to load, it's going to render the background. Okay, and then what you do is you hold your fingers, or your finger on the word deck. It shows deck, 67 cards. Shuffle cards. You press shuffle cards, and you can do that as many times as you want to. But you do that so that you never get the same experience every time you reload the game up, okay? And then you press that 2 lines in the circle above. You can change the size of the cards. If you're playing on an iPad, it's really fun. You can turn the screen sideways and make it, really big and stuff like that. You press the 3 people in the middle there look like pawn chess pieces, and this is how you do your betting and stuff. You keep score. As you know, in my game, you start with you'll start with 20% of the ante first. So really, you'd be betting 2 for your first round, and then you see who wins, etc., etc. And then to change to a different player, if you want to, you can press the player symbol to go to do another player. But if you're just playing by yourself, in other words, if you just want to play like a pretend game against, computer players, which are really you and stuff, you don't really need to do that, but you could if you wanted to change the score and stuff like that. Anyways, you drag the cards out of the deck, and you can, move them around the board or whatever. Again, make them larger or smaller with that tab, okay? And then how my game starts, after you would do the ante initially of the 20% rounded up, you would first get everybody who's playing a card, and in my rules it goes the first player to get a feather card, and the highest one, if they both have feather cards, wins. So in this case, you see I won. Okay, so I would drag the cards back to the deck, hold your finger on the deck, press shuffle cards. Okay, so now you know I am the dealer first in this hypothetical game from me against player 2. So we're going to give everybody their cards, okay, which is always 3, and then 1 card that stays face down, unless, I did that wrong, but unless you decide to use it, okay? So dealer always makes their value first, so we're going to flip these and see what I get, okay? In this hypothetical example. Okay, so let's read 1's effect. If desired, you can add the value of 2 to any card in your possession, including this card. So that's better than add 1. So for this example, let's put that down there so it's out of the way. Let's use the face down card. Hopefully it's something good. Another 2. Okay, so I basically got a bad draw here, but that it happens. So now the dealer, me in this hypothetical example, only has a value of 4. Yikes. Okay, so now again, since we're playing by yourself here, or if you're playing with real people in the room on your own device, whoever it is can use their hand or whatever, and you can, flip the cards, see what they would get for a value. And in this hypothetical example, they have a 4 already, which is a tie. Now in my game, ties always go to the dealer because there's no such thing as a tie if you're the last person in the rotation. Okay, if you're playing with more than 2 players, then the players before the last player in the rotation, if they tie the dealer, they get to take their bet back. That's how my rule works. So Now, in this hypothetical example, let's get rid of that 1, and they're going to hope to get something good here. Let's see what we get when we flip it. A 6. Okay, so their value is going to stay at 6. I'll get those cards out of the way. So they would win. Okay, so then when we go back to the scoring, me being player 1, that's correct. I would go to 8 because I lose 2 chips. And then we'd switch the player and the player thing to go to player 2. And then we would add the score on there to go up to. So it'd be 8 to 12. Okay? And then we would ante again. So really it would go down to 6 and then 10, because we'd ante again with the other player 2 being the new dealer, etc., etc. Okay, and then of course once it gets back to player 1, the original dealer, or past me if we're doing more than one player, assuming I was eliminated or something, the ante goes up 10%, rounded up to the nearest whole value of whatever you're betting. I like to bet with 10. It's an easy number. Start everybody with a 10 in their stash, but that's just me. Okay, and then just to show you a little trick here that I like to do to save you time in case you got just an abundance of cards on the field everywhere, okay? Just put them all on one hand. Doesn't matter whose it is, player 2, player 1, the player that's being seen or whatever. Okay, you just put them all in there. That's just your get off of the table pile, okay? Then you see this with the 3 lines, okay? You press on the bottom. You press that, okay? And then you can move card to deck. Boom, it puts them all straight to the deck, just like that, so that you don't have to waste your time, grabbing and dragging each one, dropping in there, okay? And then, of course, very important, hold your finger on the word deck, and then shuffle cards again, so that, therefore, you don't get the same experience that you just had, okay? And then you would deal again with the other player being the dealer, discovering their value, then going on to see if the other player or players can beat it, and etc., etc. And then just another reminder of my rules, and this is all in my rule book, okay? You can press on that, pick the picture of the book, whatever, and you can read the instructions of the game. I have them written out here, okay? But if you have any questions, feel free to comment as well. And just so the main thing to remember is any cards you get that are not a symbol card, the ones that are black with just words on them, they have to be used determining your value, no matter what. They have to. The order does not matter. That's the thing. You can use, if you have a subtract 1 and a multiply by 2, you could do that in either order you wish to do, whichever one's going to help you the most. Okay? But the thing is, if all 3 of your cards are non-symbol cards, I say your score is automatically set to 0. So then hopefully when you get rid of one of them and draw a face-down card, hopefully it's not another non-symbol card. Hopefully it's a card with an actual value, so your value is not going to be 0. But anyways, that's the rules, and just keep in mind, like I said, with my game, along with ties being something that doesn't happen, because the ties will go to the dealer if there's a tie, and then if 2 players other than the dealer tie, the dealer still gets the win of the pot there. Keep in mind that this game is also the game of ultimate comebacks, because once your ante gets really low, okay, go to the score here. Let's say, like, I only have 2 chips left, okay, and the ante is automatically, let's say it's at 6 or something at this point. So if I'm only betting 2 chips, everybody else is betting 6 chips, okay. If that player that only bet 2 chips wins, they still win the whole pot. So anybody in this game can make a comeback as long as you have 1 chip. As long as you're able to make even a portion of the ante, you can still make a comeback. So this game is the ultimate game of comebacks, the ultimate strategy game with a little bit of risk involved and a little bit of that, unknown territory with the face-down card, okay? And you don't have to use the face-down card if you don't want to, but if you do use it, you can't change your mind. You have to use it. You have to, or utilize it. If it's a card that is a symbol card and you choose not to use it, that's fine. But any symbol cards that are the same, if they're 2 feather cards, they have to be used together. In which way, that's up to you, adding or subtracting. In what order, doesn't matter. But you have to use any of the combined same symbol cards together. If you have 2 feather cards and a subtract 2 non-symbol card, okay, you probably want to get rid of the subtract 2 symbol card, unless, for example, if it would tie the dealer and you're not the last player in the rotation, maybe you'd want to do that to take your bet back. But assuming that's not the case, if you have 2 feather cards, okay, and then like a subtract 2 non-symbol card, you'll probably want to get rid of that subtract 2 non-symbol card, or subtract 5, subtract 3, whichever it is, and then you can draw, or excuse me, not draw, you can use the face down card, and let's say that one is a 2 of the pencil. Okay, then it's fine. You don't have to use that. Okay, I'm just saying that you can't change your mind once you use the face down card and discard the other card. You can't go, oh, never mind, I want to use the card I actually had here already. That you cannot do. But so anyways, that's how you play this game, okay? That's how you start it up, and that's how you use this. I love this app. It does a great job. It is free. It's fun to play. I'm really proud of my game. And any questions, just let me know. And it's fun playing with real players too, with the server and everything. But if you just want to play with a group of people in your own room or whatever, you can certainly just do that with the way that this is set up, okay? And just very important to remember, hold the finger on the deck button and press shuffle cards, or else you will get the same result when you play the next time. Okay, obviously we don't want that. We want a different experience every time. Okay, so that is just another reminder of how to play this game, how to start it up, and how to use this app to play my game ArtOfFacts, okay? Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, let me know.